Are you sick and tired of hearing specifications for the Canon EOS R5 Mark II? Supposedly specifications that change from one month to the next. Well, in this video, we've got an update validation of existing specifications thanks to Canon rumors. And let's start off with that sensor. Now, several sources have said 61, 62, and 60 megapixels, but we came out and said it's going to be 45 megapixels stacked full frame sensor, a whole new design. And Canon rumors also came out and said it was going to be a 45 megapixel BSI sensor. Well, they've just confirmed that it is going to be a 45 megapixel backside illuminated stacked sensor, or stacked sensor for short, because all stacked sensors are also backside illuminated. And it is a whole new design, and what Canon rumors has added to that is that the rolling shutter, well, the performance is about 30% increase, so we're going to see a decrease in the rolling shutter. Now, the Canon EOS R6 Mark II has something called pre-buffer shooting. The EOS R5 Mark II is also going to have that capability, but it's going to be superior to that one, or superior to the one found in the EOS R6 Mark II. Now, over the past couple of weeks, there's been a flip-flop regarding whether it's going to have a mechanical shutter or just an electronic shutter, as we see in the Nikon Z8. Well, Canon rumors has come out and confirmed that it is going to be, well, let me give you the details. So we have 12 frames per second mechanical, which is what we see currently in the Mark I. And electronic, well, we're going to see that boost up to 30 frames per second. Now, this does differ from what Canon rumors had previously said of a 60 frames per second burst mode. Now, that doesn't mean to say that we couldn't still have a 60 frames per second burst mode, but there's no mention of that in these leaked specifications. So, 12 mechanical and 30 frames per second electronic. Canon rumors gave an update to the heat dissipation technology in the EOS R5 Mark II. They had previously stated that it was going to have enhanced performance in video recording and high frame rate photography. But they've added to that, saying that you can look at the recent patent breakdown from the last week, including our patent applications or videos about patent applications that we've got on this channel. And he's saying that some of these things listed in these patent applications are coming. And haven't I been saying that for the past 3 to 6 months, that you want to pay attention to these patent applications because they're giving us a glimpse into what Canon's going to be doing in terms of processor improvements. And in addition to what Canon rumors has put out in the past week, I actually have 2 videos coming out, one coming out tomorrow morning that's going to provide other enhancements to the actual autofocus system on the sensor, because dual pixel autofocus starts with the sensor. So we are seeing a completely new design of the image sensor, and that's really good news. One other thing that Canon rumors indicated is that, well, the design, let me give you the quote that Canon rumors said. "We hope you like right angles." Okay, so that teases us a little bit in terms of what the overall ergonomics or look and feel of this camera are going to be. The current camera, as I can see, I'm staring at it right now, is more curved, more smooth lines, and right angles, huh? I guess we're going to go back to that old 1980s Volvo, boxy is good. One other thing that Canon rumors did update us with, and that's eye-controlled autofocus. I'm happy to report that it isn't gone. It's still in the EOS R5 Mark II, but no mentions on if it's better, if it's a version 2. It's just saying that it is with the Canon EOS R5 Mark II. So there you go. At least we're starting to get some sort of validation and some clarification. A 45 megapixel stacked full frame sensor. That's definitely going to provide us improvements, not just in rolling shutter, but a 30% overall improvement in speed. Well, that's going to help give us faster frame rates, as we're seeing up to 30 frames per second. It's also going to help us be able to extend that 4K HQ mode, which is 8K over sample 4K, beyond 25, 24, and 30 frames per second to maybe 50 and 60 frames per second, and hopefully 100 and 120 frames per second, and maybe even allow us to shoot 4K at higher frame rates of maybe 150, 180, or even 240 frames per second. And as far as the 30 frames per second electronic, I'm wondering if Canon might offer some higher frame rates. Not that 30 frames per second isn't fast enough. I mean, I can't imagine, even when I'm shooting with a 100mm macro and I'm doing insects or certain bird shots, well, I wouldn't be using the 100 macro for the birds, I'd be using the 100 to 500, and I just can't imagine wanting to shoot faster than 30 frames per second. Even 20 frames per second can be a little bit too much at times. 30 frames per second. Wow. I mean, that really helps you get the shot. So what really matters at that point, though, is if this camera, if the sensor is that much faster, Will it enable us to get the shot, have a higher hit rate? What improvements are there going to be to the autofocus system? Because we're going to need speed improvements there too. Not just to be fast, as I said in previous videos, the autofocus system needs to be, well, smarter. And based on what Canon's teased us with the Canon EOS R1 development press release, well, they're indicating that they're making significant improvements to artificial intelligence when it does come to the autofocus system. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what those capabilities are in the Canon EOS R5 Mark II. But one more thing before you go, I think this is very important because we seem to run into this fear of missing out that, oh, I've got to get the R5 Mark II or I've got to get the Nikon Z8. It's better, it's better, it's better. But, you know, the R5, when it came out 4 years ago, was the best that there ever was in terms of mirrorless cameras. It leapfrogged the competition, not just Nikon, Panasonic, but Sony, everybody. And that camera has aged very well. Even today, if you're looking back on that camera, whether you bought it or were looking at it, and you remembered all those features, has your business really changed that much to the point where the R5 that was released 4 years ago is just not cutting it for your business? That's just not good enough? And if that's the case, I get it. But one thing you should really pay attention to and just consider, the Canon EOS R5, the Mark I, is currently selling for $28.99. That's $1,000 off its release price back in 2020. And with everything else going up in price, to get that same powerful camera for $1,000 less today? I mean, could you see that in cars, food, energy, transportation? The answer is no. $28.99 for the Canon EOS R5. But there is one thing I recommend doing. If you're not sure if the R5 is going to meet your needs, then what you should consider doing is doing a heat map. So for every capability or outcome that you're looking for in your camera, basically using PowerPoint or some other application, just basically put them in a box or use an Excel spreadsheet. List off all the capabilities and then color code that cell or that box using traffic lights. Green, it does it very well. Red, it doesn't do it at all or does it poorly. Or yellow, it's in between. And do this for every capability. And what you want to do is, so for example, on this sheet, you'll have the R5 and you'll have the R5 Mark II and maybe even do the Z8. And you have the exact same capabilities for each one. But then you color code based on how well the R5 meets those capabilities. And then right next to it, the R5 II and the Z8. And very quickly, you'll be surprised at how this helps you visualize how the R5 Mark II, or any other camera is going to be more than sufficient to meet your needs. Sure, the R5 Mark II is going to be faster, it's going to be better, but is it going to be that much better than what you need today? I mean, if you can pocket $1,000 of your own hard-earned money, that's a big deal. So I know I'm going to be getting the R5 Mark II because I've already done this. I've already understand what capabilities I need and why it's important that I get the R5 Mark II. But for you, there's nothing like a visual to help us get through all the complexity. And if there are mandatory capabilities that you absolutely have to have, well, circle those ones and just say, look, if this one doesn't do it well, like if you get a red in a mandatory capability for this camera versus this camera, well, that tells you just to completely forget that one or to reevaluate if that is a mandatory capability. I want to say a big thanks to all of you for watching at home, for viewing, for using my affiliate links. And if you are interested in buying the Canon EOS R5 Mark I at $28.99 or any other cameras and lenses that are on sale, I've got a whole list of some 20 different cameras that are on sale across all brands right now. Then please consider using my affiliate links down below for Adorama, B&H, and Amazon.com because I get a small commission back. You get a great deal. You don't have to go through any hoops. You don't have to put in any codes. You just click on the link. It takes you directly to the website, and then you can purchase it if you wish to. And if you do purchase it, I could earn anywhere from 3 to 12%, which goes right back to supporting this channel. And a big thanks to all of you that have used my links in the past few days. Thank you very much. Whether you're buying a big camera package or just a simple small item, it doesn't matter. I appreciate the thought, and it's very much appreciated. But that's it for today. I wasn't expecting to do another video today, but here we are with updated specifications on the Canon EOS R5 Mark II. So what do you think? Do these specifications help you look towards the R5 Mark II, or are you reconsidering getting the R5 Mark I? I've seen a lot of affiliate links lately reporting, or basically looking at the analytic data. I can see a lot of people are deciding to take that $1,000 deal on the Canon EOS R5. at $28.99. But that's it for now. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have yourself a great day, a great weekend, and we'll see you again soon.